Hi, everybody. My name is Mark Simmer. I work for Deed. I work in the Small Business Assistance Office. We obviously help small businesses. I'm here to help kind of host this meeting. This is our monthly meeting. We do this the second Tuesday of every month. We try to make this kind of a conversation format, try and provide information to small businesses, um, to provide them with points of interest, topics, different bits of information that hopefully you'll find useful. Uh, Here in the Deed, we're also partnered with the Minnesota Small Business Development Centers. Our host today for the topic of our season of small business will be Andy Donahue. We also partner with the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce and the U.S. Small Business Administration. With that, we're glad you're here. Put in the chat. We will be recording this, and with that, I will pass it off to Andy Donahue. He is the director of the Minnesota Small Business Development Centers. Here you go, Andy.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. And good afternoon, everyone. And I'm going to apologize. I'm probably going to be looking at the participant screen along with you all just to make sure that I'm letting everybody in. So welcome. And I know we have a fantastic lineup of a few speakers this afternoon, really to tell about their story of impact along with how they started their business and such. So a few different things just right off the bat, and you might have seen, the news lately and everything else that's going on, with the SBCs and the SBA. We're still here. We're still serving our entrepreneurs throughout the state. There's a lot of news on what's going on, whatever way you want to look at it. We're here to still serve entrepreneurs, throughout the state of Minnesota, working with them for no-cost consulting on technical assistance, marketing, operations, you name it. We're going to help our small businesses. So I know there's a lot of news out there. A lot of it does get overwhelming for many of us, throughout the day and throughout the news cycle. But please know that the SBDC is here to assist you, work with you at no cost, throughout the state. A little bit about what we do, as I mentioned, we have, our no-cost technical assistance that we provide to everybody throughout the state as a small business owner. We have 9 regional centers that are located sporadically, one here in the Twin Cities Metro, but then also 8 throughout greater Minnesota. And I know many of them are here on this call as well. They can certainly put their contact information in the chat when the time provides. But, on an annual basis, we serve about 5,000 clients and about 31,000 consulting hours, throughout entrepreneurs, and we really pride ourselves on getting those businesses off the ground, but yet also helping them access capital. We all know as you start your business, one of the main things that you need is that access to capital. So with our consulting team throughout the state, we certainly work with entrepreneurs to make sure that, all your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, and make sure that the business is the right fit for you, as you go through your entrepreneurial journey. So that's part of the reason why we're really excited about bringing some, knowledge and stories from small business owners throughout the state today so that you can hear firsthand, not only if you're a current small business owner or an aspiring one, but then also if you work, in the public or private sector where you work with small businesses, throughout your day-to-day job. The second part of this is, and you may have seen over throughout December as we were ending 2025, is we had what was called the Season of Small Business. And this is something that our Office of Small Business Innovation launched last year in partnership with not only, Deed itself, but the SBDC and the Small Business Administration district office here in Minnesota about, going to some of our local communities, meeting with small business owners, doing walking tours, holding roundtables, making sure that we heard their story and what, is impacting them, but then also showcasing a lot of how they were successful in some of their day-to-day activities. So, we really want to, work as we work in public or private, organizations, really want to hear from our businesses. And that was part of the reason why we started that Season of Small Business Tour, is to really hear from you as, a lot of businesses on Main Street, boots on the ground, about how you're working with your clients or your customers on a daily basis. So with that, we really wanted to keep it going into 2026. We might have ended 2025 as the holiday season. Doesn't mean that, small business development and activity stops in, January. So we're going to really be promoting this and talking about this throughout the year. So what we're going to do is we have 4 small businesses that are located here throughout Minnesota that we are going to have speak for, 4, 5, 6 minutes, talking about their story, talking about, how they got into business, what successes they've had, potential pitfalls that they've also had, but then also, who are their partners? How do they, get linked up with, an organization, a lender, potentially SBDCs throughout the state, and really talking about them. So we have 4 wonderful speakers. I hope they're all on. I know a couple of them are on, but we have Michelle Carlson, who owns Fiddlesticks Fiber Arts in Bemidji. Kate Callan, and again, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. And I'm going to really mess this one up. Etalie de Nord de Spad. I'm sure they'll pronounce it properly if I mess that up. Chrissy Davenport with Renewable and Soapworks in Fergus Falls, and then Heidi Myrie with Mary Piglets in Bemidji. So I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to introduce herself first, because I know she might have a little bit of a time constraint here this afternoon. And Michelle, I'll let you take it away.
Well, thank you, Andy. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michelle Carlson. I'm one of the owners at Fiddlesticks Fiber Arts, downtown Bemidji, Minnesota. My business partner, Debbie, is currently at the shop. Typically during this time of the day, I am a 4th grade teacher and I am holding down the fort with a bunch of rowdy 4th graders. And so my role is a different role than Debbie's in a sense. She's at the shop a lot. And then I try to bop in 2 to 3 times during the week and put in what we call owner hours as we try to navigate that. It has really been a roller coaster, a really fast-paced roller coaster since we started this dream about 2 years ago. Some of the highlights for us, I think, have been working alongside a gazillion number of people who have really helped us to get where we are. We initially started talking to lots of other fiber shops or yarn shop owners and kind of just got the lay of the land from them and kind of best advice from them. Once we were pretty sure, hey, we think we want to go on this adventure, we contacted the Small Business Development Center in Bemidji and we're lined up with Colleen Falk. Colleen has been monumental for where we are today. And she's just been not only just an encourager, a huge cheerleader, but has come along beside us with a lot of just sage advice. So it's been huge. She's available just about anytime we need her. We can call her and say, hey, let's try getting together next week or so, and she will make it happen. So that part's been just really helpful for us. We also met with Deb McGregor Flieger for a while because I know she was part of the Bemidji SBDC for a bit, and Deb was offering some kind of marketing help. That was helpful. We have also reached out to other business owners downtown Bemidji, and it's exciting to see Heidi's on this call because she was another one of those really instrumental people. We could kind of go to her as business owner to business owner and get advice that way. We partnered also with the Headwaters Regional Development Center up here. Initially, they helped us write a couple of grants. We were given, I think, 2 of them, and that was really helpful for cash flow. That's been an encouraging piece as well. So lots and lots of people just have been super, super helpful for us. Everybody from local accountants to local lawyers, and just as we've developed all of that. So both Debbie and I felt it was super important for us to stay local. We wanted to work with our local people, and so we would kind of ask around, who would you recommend for this? And who would you recommend for this? And so everybody from a contractor who renovated our space to, again, an accountant to lawyers to write up kind of legal stuff, that has been huge. So people is kind of, I think, kind of the a central theme for where we are today. We wouldn't be here without them. And that's probably kind of my greatest tips. Andy had sent, what's your tip? My tip is you've got to get involved with people. People can help. It's hard sometimes to reach out when you feel like you're struggling or cash flow isn't great. And so it's a little humbling, but people, again, I think that's one of the things that both Debbie and I have felt. We just feel like people surround you and they want you to succeed. They want to help you. And if they can, they will. So that's kind of my greatest takeaway for tips, that seek out your people for that. I think best practices for us has been the fast pace of owning a business as well. I feel like just when you think, I think we've got January about covered, it's time to start planning, June. And it's hard to stay on the game. It's hard to stay ahead of things. And so that's my other kind of tip or best practice as well. If you can possibly always be thinking ahead 2 or 3 to 6 months to a year down the line. Hey, what's your goal? That's got to be written out, and you kind of got to always be moving forward. Don't ever sit back on your laurels, because all of a sudden, 3 months will fly by and it'll catch up on you. And I think that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you. I resonate with the comment about thinking 2 to 3 steps ahead. When I taught my son to play chess, I was always teaching him, like, you can't always anticipate what you're going to do next, like you're in the next move. And in your case, as a business owner, the next state, you always have to be thinking 2 to 3, 4 months ahead, especially if you work in retail or if you're sourcing goods. You're always thinking, you might be thinking about the holidays for 2026 already. So, you're always looking ahead and where you have to be. And then the other thing that really resonated was, surrounding yourself with people that can help you with your business. You might be great at marketing or the finance aspect of it, but maybe on the flip side of it, you're not so great on a different topic, but you can find those area experts that can really be your partner on this. So people are key. Absolutely. Any closing comments, Michelle, that you'd like to add, or?
I don't think so. I guess, we're just continuing to press on. We're hoping for not a significant January, February, March slump. We just really want people in Bemidji to come buy yarn.
Great. Now, I'm not sure if you're able to stay on, we might have questions here towards the end, but I know you also have to get back to 4th grade rowdy kids as well. So
I'm good. I'm going to hang on for as long as I can.
Awesome. Well, wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate you telling your story here all the way from Bemidji. So I think next we're going to go to Kate, who I believe is on as well.
I am. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
We can. Thank you, Kate.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Kate Kalan, and I am up in Ely. I just got really big and I can't handle that. Okay. I own Étoile du Nord Day Spa up here. It's named after Minnesota state motto, which is L'Étoile du Nord, which means Star of the North. Where to start? I'm just gonna ramble. So it was 2 summers ago, I think. I don't know. I was looking for a place for my mom and I to get a pedicure, and it was completely impossible up here. And it was a time when I was frustrated with my day job, and I think I was just kind of like, I have a friend who's just really entrepreneurial. She owns several businesses up here, and I think I was just like kind of in that mindset of starting something new, and I just got it in my head, like, we're gonna do this. My parents ran small businesses when I was younger, and I was just determined. So it's not like I have always wanted to run a salon, especially, or a spa or anything, but I saw the need, and I think that's something important, is if the need is there and you can fill it. So we just got going, and I started, echoing Michelle, talking to the right people. Like I said, I have a friend who runs several businesses up here, and I sat down with her and I was like, is this crazy? And she kind of pointed me to some other people. I talked to the Entrepreneur Fund, and then they pointed me to the Small Business Association. So just starting off talking to the right people, making sure this idea is, not nuts. And then I would say my second thing is to embrace AI. I could not have done anything without ChatGPT, honestly. It helped me with everything. It helped me build a business plan. It helped me get all of my thoughts in order. I mean, I would have had absolutely no idea where to begin. So it got me to a point where I could bring it to my friend and show her my little spreadsheet that ChatGPT helped me with and be like, is this real? Like, does this work? Does this make sense? And then from that point, talking to the Small Business Association, same thing, Catherine up here. I was like, is this like feasible? Am I on the right track? What am I missing? So going from there, the people, the AI, and then I think my third thing is embracing social media. So when being up here in Ely, it's remote and we're away from things. So finding nail techs was my biggest hurdle, and that was everybody's concern. So I kind of put the call out on Facebook. We have some really active local Facebook community groups up here. And I ended up finding my girl who's my manager now. I sent her down, paid for part of her education to go down to the Twin Cities, get her nail tech license, get her salon manager license. My other girl was currently in cosmetology school in Superior, but would not have found them if it weren't for Facebook, as well as probably the majority of our current clients. So I think, without going way deep into the weeds of everything, those are my three things: are the people using AI, ChatGPT, and embracing social media. So we opened on Earth Day in the spring. So we had a really good summer. This is our first winter, and we're very seasonal up here. So we're trying to think of creative ways to get people in now. But we're getting there. So that is my spiel.
Awesome, Kate. So looking at population 3,200 people or so, that are in Ely, and of course, the surrounding communities and such. What are some marketing tools or tactics that you do? I know you mentioned social media and AI, excuse me. Anything else that you do to draw in clients or customers, to the day spa or during these slower months?
Yeah, it's been a learning curve. Obviously, social media is your biggest and best reach. My day job is in advertising, so at least I had some of that background, and it's free primarily, but I do quite a bit of just like boosted content too, and get some ads out there and target the range up here and some of the North Shore. I go a little bit to Duluth, like just making sure I'm getting this whole area. Honestly, we're so lucky this summer in that I didn't really have to advertise much, but now in the fall and winter, I'm strategic just because our funds are so tight on like doing the local papers. But I do like at least once a month do a couple of our local papers. I'm just trying to get people who obviously aren't on Facebook. We're growing our email list. We did some radio over the holidays up here. So yeah, and just even like thinking about, we have flyers around the community, and anytime we see a bulletin board, we put our card up or a flyer up. I'm sending one of the girls to the college just with some flyers this week, just trying to think of different ways to reach people, especially who aren't on the Facebooks. So
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you for joining. And I know hopefully you can stay on and, if we have questions later that, you can certainly answer from anybody. So thank you for telling your story here. So we're going to move on. I don't know. Chrissy, are you on? Let's see her in the chat here. Give it a minute. So
Yeah,
if
we
you-
actually have a really good turnout. We've got 93 people here, Andy. So you have to kind of go through
Yeah.
the list.
I know
Well,
it's challenge is like seeing where everybody's at, right?
yeah. Well, you're looking here, Kate. I just want to ask, have you thought about going out on the ice, doing any events for people come up ice fishing? Maybe doing going out for any of the wives going out with their husbands or girlfriends?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to just kind of get out in town as much as we can too. And we have so many different festivals and things up here. So that's another thing too, is that we have our little like Ely summer times, Ely winter times, little pamphlets that we make sure we're in. The Tower, Lake Vermilion area has a Go Lake Country brochure magazine thing. We make sure we're in that. Something we keep meaning to do, which we haven't, is just directly reaching out to all the resorts and all of the hotels and just, I mean, we drop brochures off at some of them, and some of them actually like proactively reach out to us, like, what are you doing? So just trying to like be top of mind for visitors too, which is obviously a huge deal.
Sure. I mean, using other businesses to supplement, let them know that you're here. Absolutely.
And that's another thing. Sorry, I could just keep going, but to partner with local businesses. So we did like a partnership with our theater for when Wicked was here, and we're just trying to think of ways to partner with other places in town as well. I'll stop talking now.
This is the best part about the small business call, especially when we're talking with entrepreneurs, is like we get to hear from you. This is where the excitement comes in, from not only the clients that we work with, but you as business owners. So you can talk as much as you want, Kate. That's fine because it shows your passion. This is what we love to see. So if you have anything at the end, you can certainly add to it. That's not a problem at all. So I think what we'll do, I don't think Chrissy's on. Heidi, if you're willing to go, I think we can just move to you real quick.
Sure, that works. Hi, everybody. My name is Heidi Myrie. I live in Bemidji, Minnesota, and I am the owner of Mary Piglets, which is a home and gift store in downtown Bemidji. We opened in September of 2023, so just over 2 years we've been open now. And let's see, my background, I'm an RN. I've been a registered nurse for over 20 years. And for the second half of my career as a nurse, I was in a leadership role. So I worked at Sanford here in Bemidji. I was a director, and super thankful for my time as a nurse and the people I got to know, but was really looking to do something joyful and fun and just different. I'm in my 40s, and I just thought, if I'm ever going to do it, I'm going to do it now. Bemidji's hometown for me, and I moved back here about 5 years ago. So I just thought, this is it. Let's do it. So here we are. I opened the brick and mortar, like I said, in 2023, and about 6 months later added the website onto it. So I also do e-commerce. So I do a little bit of both. And there's been so many people that have been instrumental to the success of my business. Michelle, hearing you speak was amazing. I think one of the best things that aspiring entrepreneurs can do is just talk to other people, make connections. There's so many people want to see you succeed. And so, yeah, that spirit of community over competition, I think, is really important. Even if you think you know everything, everybody has something to share with you. What else? When I was getting ready to open the business, it wasn't a hasty decision. This wasn't something that I was just like, I just want to do this, and I quit my job. I think, I read a book, and they talked about building yourself a runway. So what I did was I kind of thought about, if I do open up a business, how much money do I have in the bank, and what you know, like how many months can I live? How many months can we pay our mortgage and all of our payments and stuff before it's like, uh-oh, you know, like I got to go back to nursing or something. And so we figured that out. I saved up money. I decided on a date that I was going to quit my job, and I wrote it on a Post-it note and I put it on my mirror, and I looked at it every morning in the bathroom, and I stuck to that date, and I actually put in my notice on that date. So I think you just have to be really motivated and kind of know what you want and get after it. I did reach out to the SBDC here in Bemidji when I was opening up my business. I only met with them once. I didn't receive any capital funding, but I did find that to be a really helpful meeting. They asked some pretty probing questions, and I was prepared, but it did get me thinking about different things. And the person who I met with was amazing because she helped us get into this building. She had some insider information that somebody was going to be vacating this building, and we were able to purchase the building, which I'm so grateful for. So in that sense, they were extremely helpful. As far as tips go, I'd say even if you're a small business, having a mission and vision statement is extremely important. Knowing your why you're doing it, and posting that for people to see, it really can guide your decisions with how you treat customers, what you order for your business, who you hire, all of those things. I have 5 part-time employees now, and they're all, you know, like bought into the mission and vision of what Mary Piglets is. And I'm so grateful for that. They're my number one asset. So I would say once you get to the point where you have employees, you know, really, really treating them well and teaching them how to do what you do. So when you're not here or when you're not there, they can take the reins for you. So I'm super grateful for my employees as well. I do think that my experience in a leadership role in nursing really helped prepare me for the position that I'm in now, but I had no experience in retail prior to doing this. So listened to a lot of podcasts, read a lot of books, met with the SBDC, got involved with my local downtown alliance as well, and just got to know other business owners. And then I guess one other thing too that I think is really important is just connecting with your community, helping out where you can with events, whether it's giving back monetary wise or sponsoring sports teams or being on local boards. For example, I'm on the United Way board, and I think that's been awesome for networking and just getting to know people and getting the word out there that you exist as a business. So, gosh, I'm rambling. Let me think. Let me look at my notes. I don't know. I think I kind of covered it. Any questions?
Awesome. See, again, this is where it gets excited, right, Heidi? You know, you can talk about your story and, you know, and how things are going. So super. The only comment I think you already alluded to it is, you know, when you're talking about, you know, finance and financials and such, and I would echo this, is, you know, always kind of looking ahead, making sure that you have, you know, enough in the bank from a cash flow perspective, but also enough of your own personal assets in case of those what if situations that could occur. So, and you echo that exactly how I would say it, the same way. Well, thank you. And I know we have Chrissy just joined here. So I'm going to certainly turn it over to Chrissy Davenport with Solbergs and Renewable out of Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Chrissy, can you hear us? Okay. We can see you.
Okay, now
There
can you hear
are.
me?
Awesome. We can
All
hear
right.
you. Welcome.
Welcome. I'm totally caught off guard, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not prepared. So, I just was reading through the email, and if there is someone else that can go in front of me and I can kind of follow their lead, that would be great. I apologize.
Well, here's what we'll do. We already had a few. That's okay. So, what I'll do here, I'll call a little bit of an audible. And while you think about it here is, does anybody want to share maybe a small business in their community that really stands out? You know, we obviously, you know, through the SBDC, we work with so many different ones, you know, throughout the year. But, you know, is there anybody on this call that has one of those small businesses that that you want to kind of promote, you know, independently, or even if it's your own, about what you do, you know, for the group to learn more about? certainly, if you want to just raise your hand, we can call on you. Or if you want to put it in the chat, that's not a problem. I know Miranda's talking about MinPack, that helps each other. Miranda, if you want to pop on, unmute yourself, you can certainly do that. I think you can do that. If not, I can certainly unmute you.
I think it's working.
There you go.
hear-
We can hear you. Yes.
Hi. So, yeah, I'm with MinPack. We're a manufacturing, packaging, printing company out of Pine City, Minnesota. We technically work with some bigger clientele, like Fortune 500 companies as well. But our goal right now is actually to support small businesses with custom packaging and printing, or allowing the opportunity for small businesses to kind of get in and use the same equipment and distribution services that we use for our bigger clientele.
Awesome. Well, welcome. And where are you from?
Pine City,
Pine
Minnesota.
City. Just down up from I-35.
Yep,
Exactly nowhere.
right off of it.
Perfect.
And so that's our goal, is however we can help support any other new businesses. We're like, let's try.
Wonderful. Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining and introducing yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to turn it over to Don Jackson with the Minnesota District Office of the Small Business Administration, just to introduce himself and then also talk about a new program that's out there, for some different SBA lending. So,
thank you, Andy. Thank you, everybody, for letting me jump on and talk about some things. One of the big things that we do here, besides partnering with the SBDC and our other resource partners, we also work a lot with the local lenders who are our partners, who can help you out with the 7A loan guarantees, a 504, and the microloan. One of the new things that has came out with this administration is what's called the MARC, or the Manufacturer's Access to Revolving Credit. So if there are small business owners on here that are actually in that manufacturing NAICS code, this is a specialized 7A loan program that's offering flexible working capital through a revolving line of credit with a maximum up to $5 million, with some terms that are about 20 year, I believe, on the revolving credit, convertible to a 10-year term if necessary. There's also some fee waivers that are being associated with that for loans up to, I believe, 500,000. So that's some assets there that are beneficial. If there are small business owners that are veterans, we do have a program through our 7A Express program where we do have fee waivers on loans up to 500,000. So these are just some opportunities there. If you need that access to capital, that you may be able to take advantage of that. For all our other small businesses, again, working with our participating lenders is a great way to get some hands-on assistance from those lenders. If you have any issues with those lending partners, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and my team. Our job is to make sure that we work with those lenders. If we have to do some training and education, we can. If we have to escalate things up to headquarters, we can do that also. But we just know that there's some opportunities here with our loan guarantee programs. Our 504 program is another unique program. This is for those major pieces of equipment or assets that will, increase in value over time. So it's a three-party debenture, which means a private lender puts up 50%, the SBA through a certified development corporation puts up 40%, and then you, the borrower, have to put up 10%, or a non-federal entity that's a third-party collateral position. It's a bit of a tongue twister there, but basically that's any kind of community entity that's going to do like a 0% gap loan to help you out, because they want to make sure that either businesses are coming into the community or staying in the community. But again, if you want to talk more about that, I'll put my email into the chat feature here. You can reach out to us directly, and then we can provide some assistance that way. Any questions for me?
perfect. I don't think there's any right now.
All right. Well, I'll watch the chat and see if there are any. Thank you,
Sounds
Andy.
good. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks, Don.
Chrissy, I think you're all set. Ready?
I'm as ready as I can be, I guess.
You'll do awesome.
All right. So my name is Chrissy Davenport, and my business is called Reusable. So my business started at the beginning of 2024, and that originally started with making wool pellets. So wool pellets are 100% wool, and I use the waste wool from my flock of sheep, and then I also buy in wool. And what we do is we pelletize that wool, and it is a natural fertilizer and soil amendment, 100% wool. So it's works amazing in vegetable gardens, pots, containers, house plants. We have a small farm. I raise sheep, and I had been watching other companies, other farms doing this in other areas of our country for about 4 years. And I saw it kind of getting closer to Minnesota, and I was like, we need to do this. And thankfully, my husband was super supportive. So we got the equipment, big industrial kind of equipment, and started doing that on our farm. And then later, midway through 2024, a local business called Soapworks was going to be closing. The owners wanted to retire. And my initial thought was, wow, that would be kind of neat. Long story short, I took over Soapworks November of 2024. And so now I also make natural bath and body and home products, small batch, handcrafted. And then we have, because of that, taking over that business, I have a storefront downtown Fergus Falls, Minnesota. And so we also sell wool pellets here as well. And then I bring in other maker items, other crafters and things that fit into my store. So I have those for sale in my store as well. So as I'm looking at the email, things that really helped get my business off the ground and throughout my journey. My journey is relatively new, I think. I've only been doing it 2 years now, or a year and a half, or whatever we are in. I would say the SBDC for one. It all got going because of them. I went to a cohort, I suppose, type meeting where there was other small business owners here in town. We all met, and SBDC was the one that put that on. And there I met a woman named Beth who headed those meetings, and she was very instrumental in helping me navigate starting a business. I had never done that before. I am not the type of person, I never imagined I would be a business owner. So she really helped guide me on, here's who you need to talk to, here's what you can do. And she has been instrumental, very much so. Amy has also helped me out as well. And yeah, so I would say SBDC, thank you. As far as tips for future entrepreneurs, go with it. I never imagined that I would be a small business owner, like I said. And here I am. I have a storefront and I'm making it work. So it's not easy. It's a lot of work. The store is me. My family helps on occasion when they can, but otherwise it's me here Tuesday through Saturday. And it's just a lot of work. So reach out to, if you're new, aspiring, maybe you don't have a business yet, or even if you do, reach out to the SBDC. They've got the information that you need, I think. So that's me and my story.
Wonderful. Thanks, Chrissy. Just a question for you, now, because you went from, developing, did you say at the beginning, like at your home or,
Yeah.
very micro to start. And now you have a retail space, where you're have your location. Any tips on, for entrepreneurs that are looking from that start, that are very micro, starting out of their home to where they are now, what they should really look at from a planning perspective?
Find your niche, find your spot in the market. Find what you enjoy doing, because you have to enjoy this to do it. That's for sure. It's got to be where your passion lies. But yeah, find that niche and just get out there, spread the word. Because like me with the wool pellets, even I'm guessing many of you on this call have never ever heard of them or using them in your garden. So I was bringing a complete new product to so many customers that have never heard about it. So I just had to, I still do, get out there, talk about it, share your story, and don't give up. That's for sure.
You said exactly, and I was thinking about this when you were talking about tell your story. You know, one of the things when I was in my old role with the SBDC in Northwest Wisconsin, we would have, you know, in the community right in the downtown area, 2 coffee shops that were within probably 2 blocks of each other that were opening at the same time. And one of the things I really emphasize to them, but then also going forward with other entrepreneurs, is tell your story and what's going to make you unique. Just because you have a similar, you know, product or service doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be direct competition. You know, everybody's got a niche, whether it's a, you know, a coffee shop that has more open meeting spaces to a coffee shop that is selling baked goods. You're going to be totally different. And so whatever business that you're in, you know, certainly tell your story and really what drives to set you apart from potential competitors, but also, you know, who could be your partners in a lot of this, especially in smaller communities itself.
I so agree with that. Like there's I do farmers markets and other markets yet still, and at every single one there's other people doing very similar things to me. They're making soap, they're making other home products, and yeah, that's where knowing your niche, knowing what you enjoy doing and having your story. I hear it a lot is people love my story. It started My farm started because of a border collie that I adopted, and he needed a job, and so we got cheap, and now look at what's transpired. So
Wonderful. Well, Chrissy, thanks for jumping on, for sharing. You know, you did a fantastic job, so don't be nervous. You did great. So thank
thank you
you.
for being patient with me.
Absolutely, of course. So with that, you know, Mark, should we open up for questions? You know, either
Yeah.
in the chat or that anybody might have.
Yeah, actually, Chrissy, there is a question, I believe, for you. How does she work with handcrafters? What agreements, contracts, understandings, etc.?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. So in my store, right now I probably only have about 5 I call them makers. And what I do is I just talk with them and see if what they make fits into the vibe or the feeling of my store and what my customers might be looking for. Um right now I'm just trying to think. All of them are on like a consignment type.
yeah,
So their products are here in my store, and as I sell them, then I get a certain percentage of that sale, and then I pay them the difference on a monthly basis.
okay. Have you negotiated with your other makers?
I did. So the 5 that I have, I did negotiate with them. So the previous
Sure.
owner of this store, was doing it too, and she had quite a few more of them. But all of them really didn't fit into what I'm
Yeah.
doing with the store. And so I did negotiate terms with each one individually, um, just because they're all individual. And I know I was a maker. I still am a maker. But
Absolutely.
I was a maker before without that retail location. So I totally understand where they're coming from in wanting to get their products out there in front of um, customers without having to do vendor markets, farmers markets, and that kind of thing all the time. Um, so yeah, so I get it. I understand where they're coming from.
Okay. Awesome.
I hope that helps.
Absolutely. I mean, great answer because you're seeing it from both sides. You're doing retail, but you're an outlet for someone else. So you also become kind of a tool for other people. So you have to, you're viewed as another tool. So you have to take care of your interests and watch out for other people's interests. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And it's kind of hard.
Hmm.
But I like to remind, because as a business owner, I've got the storefront, I've got all of the costs associated with that.
Yes.
So, but yet as a maker, I understand the time, the energy that goes into making their products, and they need X number of dollars. So I just like to remind makers to be aware of like true value of what they're doing, and what they can actually sell those products for.
Sure.
And while I might need, a certain percentage of that to have it here in my store, I remind them as well that to take it as marketing, because it's getting their name out there,
Yes.
for other, whether they buy it from me, they could still, leave my store without buying it and reach out to that maker. So,
Hmm. Good. Well, for someone who wasn't prepared, you did a pretty darn good job, Chrissy. Pretty darn good job.
uh,
Yeah.
I've got the gift of gab.
All right. Well, we'll leave you alone for now. So as we work back up the question list, Andy, we had a question kind of centered around if someone had uh, besides Apex, does someone have resources for dealing with SAM, GSA, RFPs, RFQs? Does anyone in the audience has some other resources uh, for small businesses? And I think that answer is no. Or Andy has frozen. He has gone to robotic mode. So if no one has it, that's also cool. I mean, Apex is a really good resource. And Chrissy, I am working on taking you off spotlighting you, so that's why I'm slow to the draw here. So
I
if
know
someone,
for, beyond that, sorry, Mark, beyond Apex, we can certainly, with the SBA, certainly reaching out, Brian or Chris or, Don, with any of them, they might have a few different, potential opportunities where they could get connected either there or others. I think Don put it in the chat there a little bit as well.
good,
But I know, Apex absolutely has a ton of great
yeah,
resources, even though, and same with our local SBDCs, we might refer back to Apex, but at least can get you connected or chat a little bit more about government contracting or some other potential options that are out there.
yep, yep, good point, good point. Let's see. Kind of a broad question. How can I connect with small business owners in the B2B space? I have a solopreneur B2B business. So it's a broad question for everybody. If people have some suggestions.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
How can I connect with small business owners in the business to business space? I have a solopreneur business to business.
I think it depends on where you live. You definitely want to be intentional when you connect with other businesses. I live in the city, so if I wanted to connect with, I live in Minneapolis, so if I wanted to connect with other business owners, I would hit up some of the markets where I know entrepreneurs are, or just start with those networks, the chambers, um, yeah, just spaces that you might find small businesses in mass.
Hmm. Thanks, Devon. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you. Devonna Pittman, Nature Syrup Beauty.
Oh, I know. I
Hey,
know.
Mark.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Let's see. Do this. I love the photo. Love the photo. Let's see. Another question was, how much of a learning curve was it to handle the daily, monthly accounting? Do you outsource some of that? This is just a broad question. Or handle it yourselves using web-based subscription programs?
I can jump in on that one too, because I have another resource that I want to share with the small businesses. I actually outsource my accounting. I don't have time. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have time to do the accounting, and I don't want math to be a part of the main thing that I do. I want to manage my business every day and figure out the operations. Don't look at my eyebrows. I just did a cosmetic thing here. I usually look very normal, but I feel really weird being on Zoom right now.
You look
Um,
fine.
Thank you so much. But there's an app that I use. It's AI, and I absolutely love it and will die on the sword. It's called, when I tell you it has literally changed my life as a small business owner, it's called Marblism, Marblism. I will put it in the chat.
Cool.
It literally gives you 5 AI employees, and they all do different things. So I've been using it for about 6 months now, and it shows you how much time you save every day. And already this
Hmm.
month, I think I've saved, I mean, we're on day 13. I've saved 30 hours this month with this particular app. So I love it, and I would recommend if you just need more hands, this is a great resource for small businesses. I am not a paid actor.
Awesome. So are we talking about receivables, payables, all
Well,
those
it's not
kind of things?
necessarily an accounting app,
Okay.
but it is you get like 5 staff people. So it writes blogs for you. I mean, of course you
Okay.
give it, you know, but also it's AI. So um social media, which is really a lot of work for a lot of people, but it drafts your social media content, and just check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have some suggestions?
I just want to add that just in the chat, if you scroll up, I know there's a lot of activity going on from great resources to businesses that people want to highlight. There's a lot of great tools and tips that are some of our SBDCs are putting in, but then also some of our entrepreneurs that are
Yeah,
on this
yeah,
call
yeah.
that are putting in. So take a look. There's plenty of wonderful resources that are out there that you might be able to tap into. Like Devon said, it might be something small like QuickBooks or accounting, but it also could be something a little bit bigger using AI and other marketing tools.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I should add, I do use QuickBooks, but I also have an accountant. And so my accountant helps to kind of wrap things up at the end of every month. And I pay $400 a month for my accountant.
Okay. Thank you. Another question here or comment. There's a ton of comments coming in here. I'm just catching up. Let's see. I own a video production company in Moorhead, hoping to have a continuing series on what it takes to run a small business. First one done, so I'm just waiting for the business to give an okay to post it. If you know anyone that would be interested, let me know. I also offer traditional video services, so getting a few more promotional comments in here. Let's see. Let's see, Andy, you mean jump into as you're reading here. MPCA is a great resource for equipment related to helping the environment. Yes.
Kim Parmeter from the Hermantown Chamber said join your local chamber. So that's something obviously, making sure that
Yeah.
you connect with your local chamber, your other local organizations that help promote not only entrepreneurship but economic development. It's key and crucial, especially, in this time where we want to certainly promote each other, but also promote the resources that could help business owners be successful. And there's
Yeah.
plenty, of your local all the way to the statewide chamber.
Yeah. And I will echo what Heidi had mentioned. Um, you no matter what you're doing, your interests, you never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to bump into when you're joining groups, your business, um, just being part of your community. You know, it isn't always about, and I think Heidi would agree with this. It isn't always about promoting yourself. It's about you're part of this community. Someone hears, learns about you being an RN. I have a daughter who's a nurse. It's those connections you make with people that tend to spin and connect, and it's this large network. And you never know when someone remembers who you are, what you've done, how you touch them. Um, it's uh, it's really cool.
I love that, Mark, and I absolutely agree. It's
Yeah.
the when you're a small business, it's all about the people, and it's the people who support you that keep you open and keep you going and fuel you, honestly. So, no, thank you.
Oh, got those Father RN vibes in there. Whoa, gonna back off on that. But I mean, I have a lot of conversations with people starting a business, and Andy does, and a lot of you do too. That's what I try and tell people. You just network. You just go to places. I mean, Devonna was right. If you're in the places where other people are doing the same activities, you're putting yourself in that environment, and that's where your connections grow, whether you realize it or not. Um, I tend to do this a lot, whether I'm driving around different neighborhoods. So maybe I take a wrong turn and I come back and go, oh yeah, I remember I was there. And when I'm talking to people on the phone, it's like, oh yeah, I remember I just talked to the person about this, and I will give them a hint about yeah and that, and it's sometimes it's really interesting that you remember who I talked to and this person did that, and um, sometimes it is coincidence, and sometimes it's being in the right place at the right time. Yep, that's super important for people starting their businesses and growing their businesses.
Kim mentioned from the Hermantown Chamber, just a quick plug for SCORE. Yes, SCORE, has a wonderful array of training programs and classes virtually that you can attend. Anywhere from like business planning 101 to marketing, how to market online, digital, cybersecurity. You can certainly check out their website. They change regularly, so there's always up-to-date information regarding some of the different training opportunities that they do have.
Yeah, built-in networking right there. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep. And lo and behold, we are at 2:58, getting right up to the end. Super, super good interaction today with everybody. Love it.
And I believe, Mark, the next call we have scheduled, if I can pull up my calendar, for February 2026 already, is scheduled for Tuesday, February 10th at 2 p.m. So
Yes.
certainly make sure that you're able to join us. We're doing these different topics every single month that are relevant, obviously, to entrepreneurs and throughout the state of Minnesota. So love to have everyone back, and certainly welcome to keep an eye on the SBA, the Small Business Assistance Office website. Have all the recordings, but also future events that we do have as well.
Yes. February we'll talk about marketing. Always of interest. I learned a lot today. Thanks everybody for coming today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for hosting.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for showing up, everybody.
Thank you.